story of 051 Melly is one of the most complex and discussed street narratives to come out of Chicago. Known for his reputation, alliances, and the fear and respect attached to his name, Melly's life reflects how deeply environment, family ties, and neighborhood politics can shape someone from a very young age. His story begins on the south side of Chicago in some of the city's most notorious housing developments. Melly grew up in a Calumet building, also known as Randolph Towers, where gang activity and street politics were part of everyday life. He was raised by his mother alongside his siblings, including his brother Wu and his sister Kenya. Although his household had stability, street influence surrounded him. Wu's biological father, who was also Melly's stepfather, was a well-known black disciple figure in Chicago and later received a life sentence after being convicted in connection with 4 murders and 5 robberies. That reality exposed Melly to the consequences and realities of gang life at a very early age. Melly's exposure to the streets extended beyond his immediate household. Several cousins and uncles were deeply involved in Chicago gang culture, including Cario and G Slim, one of the founders of No Limit, later known as NLMB. With family ties connected to powerful street organizations, Melly grew up surrounded by people who had lived that lifestyle, making it difficult to avoid its pull. After the Calumet buildings were torn down, Melly moved to the 59th and Calumet area. During his early teenage years, he was cool with local black disciples who controlled much of the area, and he himself initially identified as BD. His early identity was shaped largely by his surroundings rather than ideology, reflecting the fluid nature of gang affiliations in Chicago's housing projects. Melly later attended DuSable High School, where he began interacting with more members of the Mickey Cobras. DuSable was known for mixing students from different neighborhoods and affiliations, and this environment played a major role in shifting Melly's associations. Around this time, he grew close to 051 Zico, a respected member of 051 Young Money. The set was a hybrid group made of black disciples, black Peace Stones, and Mickey Cobras, prioritizing neighborhood loyalty over strict nation rules. Although Melly started out as a BD, rumors soon spread that he flipped the Mickey Cobra, whether he officially changed nations or became what many described as renegade BD. His loyalty was clearly with 051 Young Money. This allegiance put him at odds with several major BD sets, including O-Block, Lemron, 600, and other BD-affiliated neighborhoods. Melly became deeply involved in these conflicts, earning a reputation as one of the most feared and active members associated with 051 Young Money. Everything intensified after the murder of 051 Zico. Zico's death deeply affected Melly and pushed him further into the center of 051 Young Money's wars. Those close to the situation have said that after losing Zico, Melly became even more locked in with the set, fully embracing his conflicts and standing firmly against his enemies. His name soon became surrounded by rumors, allegations, and stories that painted him as a central figure in Chicago's ongoing street violence. Melly's life ultimately came to a violent end in November 2019. He was shot and killed at a party in the Jarrow City area of Chicago. Unlike many street killings, his death was especially shocking because it was widely believed that he was killed by people he knew and trusted. Reports and street accounts suggest that Melly was lured to the gathering under assumption that it was safe, only to be ambushed and shot multiple times. His killing sent shockwaves to Chicago streets, as Melly was known to move carefully and was considered extremely dangerous by both allies and enemies. In the aftermath of his death, rumors quickly spread that the Melly's murder was a result of eternal betrayal rather than rival gang violence. His killing intensified already existing tensions between 051 Young Money and other nearby sets, particularly Jarrow City and his allies. Many believe his death shifted the balance of power in the ongoing Southside conflicts and triggered a new wave of retaliation and bloodshed. The death of 051 Melly marked the end of one of the most feared and controversial figures in Chicago street history. His story is a reflection of how family, legacy, environment, and neighborhood loyalty can shape a life from childhood to death. To some, he was a loyal soldier who stood on his affiliations. To others, a tragic product of his surroundings. Regardless of perspective, 051 Melly's life and death remain a defining chapter in the history of Chicago's streets.